I want to kick us off by talking about J.K. Rowling, right? She nailed it, I thought, when she said this. She said, "Thoughts and prayers with David Tennant at this very difficult time." Because while the former Doctor Who was telling Kemi Badenoch to shut up over her, that was his words, over her stand against sterilising children and her commitment to safeguarding women's spaces, well, Kemi was busy actually defending these kids from medicalisation in the name of ideology, throwing safeguarding entirely out of the window. Now, Badenoch has been relentless in unmasking the racism behind the agenda of critical race theory. It's a theory that lurks in our schools and on our public bodies, telling your kids that because of the colour of their skin, they have an inherent privilege. To me, there is nothing more racist than that statement. They refuse to pretend that all cultures are equally valid, and actually Kemi Badenoch said that on the BBC, and she wasn't eager to appease those who want to rewrite Britain rather than actually come here and embrace it. You might not think that's a brave thing to say, but actually for politicians, it is. Let's face it, she's the kind of truth-teller that actually left the BBC and others clutching their pearls at what she had to say. She isn't another bland suit reciting safe party-line drivel. And before you get your knickers in a twist, no, Rob Jenrick, I'm not saying that about you. She's a disruptor. She's ready to make Prime Minister's questions Sir Keir's weekly nightmare. He's going to be stood there dreaming of Lord Ali Bye-Bye's latest perks, minus the scrutiny that he'll no doubt get. She's not here to slow-walk leftist ideas like the Tories of old. She's here to put British values back where they belong. And, you know, spare us the Labour glass ceiling gloating over Rachel Thieves. I've heard it all now. The first female Chancellor. Well, what she achieved beyond breaking the backs of Britain's farmers. Badenoch has no time for Labour's managerial mediocrity or of its toxic identity politics. So could she, my friends, this is a question I want to ask you at home tonight, could she lift the Tories from their malaise and remind Britain of its proud, unapologetic identity, providing the party don't fall into the left's penchant for toxic identity politics, as James Cleverly already has in this tweet that he posted here. There's nought wrong with being male, pale and stale. I do it quite well myself. Is Britain in for a conservative renaissance under Blazing Badenoch then? Well, only time will tell. But let's...
I don't think that a culture that thinks gay people should be stoned is as valid as ours.
We do not want to see teachers teaching their white pupils about white privilege and inherited racial guilt.
People should not be made to feel guilty for questioning levels of immigration, legal or illegal, if it is changing the place they know and love. If people don't want their taxes to pay for foreign criminals to be in our jails or on our streets, those criminals should be removed. Our country is not a dormitory for people just here to make money or a hotel for those passing through. It is our home and no one else will look after it.
Well, some of those reasons may well be why she won the leadership contest tonight, but let's see what my panel think. Dr. Renee, she stole the day. Do you think that was right, the right call for the Conservative Party?
I do think it was right. And the reason for that is I actually think out of the two of them, and they were both saying the things that true Tories want people to say, but I think out of the two of them, I felt that Kemi was the most authentic. I thought it was coming from a place where she actually means it, where I had this feeling all of the time that Jenrick was saying what he thought he needed to say to win. So from that perspective, I think it's great. I think she's going to destroy Keir at the box every week, and I think that's what Labour are dreading, and it's why they tried to talk her down.
Nikki, would you accept that she was the candidate that Labour were fearing the most?
I don't know about that. I mean, I still can't get over the comments she made about maternity pay, suggesting that £187 a week, which is the maximum you can get, by the way, was somehow causing the whole economic system to be so overburdened. I think she's made some really terrible missteps already, even before she's been elected.
I think you're just exaggerating the situation. I watched that entire interview and I didn't come away with it with that feeling at all. And I'm a woman, a mother who recently had maternity pay.
Of course, and so am I. As we both are, Renee. But she walked right into a trap. I know maybe she was trying to make a broader point about how the economy works and business taking on too much responsibility. But it is such a misstep to basically come across like you've said, women are the problem, pregnant women are the problem.
But it's pretty hard to say that women are the problem when she's a woman, and this is the key.
But it's not, that's the point.
But this is the key point, is that the only thing that Labor still believes in today is identity politics, and having a black woman as leader neutralises the only thing they still believe in. They would absolutely hate it. I can assure you they are worried about this choice.
But the important thing to say is just because someone is a black woman doesn't mean they're going to stand up for the rights of black women or black people in general.
You're making a very good argument against identity politics. It's unfortunate the Labor Party can't do it.
She's standing up for the rights of the British people, and they happen to also be and include black women.
Absolutely, but she herself has laboured the point so much about, you know, the war on woke, which is manufactured by us in the media, by the way. That is not real.
That's nonsense.
Hold on. Woke is an old-fashioned term that belongs to a completely different body of academic
research. Why are there men going into
research?
women's bathrooms all of a sudden? Why is it
But
that
Darren
you
we're
find
talking
young
about
women, autistic young women, chopping off their breasts in the name of an
I agree with you. That is about
this is
that's
the pernicious
misogyny.
ideology that has ran through our institutions.
Darren, that is institutionalised misogyny that has existed in our culture for thousands of years. It's just taken a new form, and now it's against young lesbians. No, it's not woke. It's not woke. What fundamentally people that believe they are woke are trying to do is protect, with empathy, the right of minorities. There's nothing more to it. And I completely agree with you. There's a bunch of very left-wing nutcases that are far more left-wing than me that say absolutely atrocious things and are violent on the internet and offensive and all the rest of it.
Hang on,
but that's not the majority of people who think they are woke.
Yeah, I want to put your viewers' questions to you. Paul says, it's not Paul. Where have I lost? I've lost you. Colin, it's Colin. I was torn and swayed from one to the other, but eventually I voted for Kemi. Congratulations, Kemi. But then another of our viewers says, Helen, good evening, Helen. She says, nice words, Darren, but the party is still full of One Nation liberal wets who will be sharpening their knives soon enough. And that would have been the case, Helen, as I'm sure you'll agree, with Robert Jenrick at the helm as well. So is the Conservative Party, the question is, Adam, just beyond repair?
It would seem so, because there are so many MPs that probably should be in the Liberal Democrats right now. Again, I don't fully trust Kemi because of her closeness to Michael Gove. And to have the backing of Michael Gove, for me, Michael Gove is one of the reasons that the Conservative Party's, fouled.
Haven't we discounted that now? Haven't we discounted that kind of conspiracy theory now?
The Michael Gove thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I happen to... Yeah, I know that's not true. I don't want to go into too much detail because it would be unkind.
It's not true.
Then it's not. Right. It's definitely not. I know there are lots of people. But, Will, what I was going to say is, very briefly, because we want to get to your segment, but one of our questions from Babs says, do you think Kemi's appointment bodes well for Reform UK?
No, I don't. I think the only chance they had to actually really fight Reform was to take them on from the right, and Kemi gives them the opportunity to do that. I think this is a very good result for the Conservatives, not for Reform.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.